The Lead & Be Legendary podcast is brought to you by the College of Hip Hop, the first and only entertainment education app found in the app stores out of 1 billion apps. It's a one-of-a-kind resource guide with links to all information discussed in lessons. Download the College of Hip Hop app today, which is available across all app platforms for free, to hear an exclusive seminar by No Malice, formerly of the Clips, entitled Lifestyles of an Artist. See, the way I see it, if you're an independent artist, right? Let's say you got the talent, but you don't necessarily understand the business side of things, what type of deal you should probably sign, the best lucrative deal for you. Or you might have family members or friends that's interested in helping you, guide you through your career, but they don't necessarily understand the business side of things. This is definitely the app for you. I say it every time, every day at school. Why not educate yourself and download this app? The College of Hip Hop is a premier learning platform for entertainment education. It's a must-have free app for anyone and everyone who knows somebody looking to learn the business side of the arts and entertainment industries. Very easy to navigate, and it features exclusive interviews from industry heavyweights such as Wendy Day, Master P, music blogs, audio seminars on topics ranging from copyrights, publishing, encoding, marketing, and many more subjects. The College of Hip Hop features a resource guide with helpful links to publishing forums, contracts, and lots of more helpful items. Created by AJ and SJ Jackson, young entrepreneurs that saw a void in the arts and entertainment industry. Their goal is to make arts and entertainment industry simple for everyone interested. Download, rate, review, and share the College of Hip Hop app. If you learn something from the app, suggest it to one of your friends who want to be educated in the entertainment field. Screenshot your rating, review, post it, and tag at the College Hip Hop and at TCOHH app to enter for a chance to win an autographed copy of the book, 10 Steps to Profit from Your Passion. Now let's start the show. Yo, check. Y'all tuned in to another episode of the Lead & Be Legendary podcast, aka the LABL podcast. Once again, I'm your host, Name Tag. Again, I got with me to my, to my left? I'm getting bad. I'm getting old.
Yeah, your left, my left. Right.
Okay. My left, your right. DDT.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I don't know yet.
All right, well, we back at it. We had an ad at the beginning of the show. Shout out to the College of Hip Hop. Thing is, this ad isn't just exactly brought to you by the College of Hip Hop, right? Because this podcast here is also brought to you by, I guess I figure since we're active now in sundress season, this thing got warm. So it's also been brought to you by women out there that's getting their sundresses out.
And rappers.
And wait, rappers getting their sundresses out? Or just rappers?
You
period?
haven't heard?
Oh, the rompers. Oh my God.
Rompers, sundresses, and blouses.
It's going to definitely be rappers and rompers.
And chokers.
It's going to have, and chokers, man.
And handbags.
And handbags.
I'm serious.
I know, I seen this shit online. But also, I couldn't leave these people out because it's also brought to you by ladies wearing leggings with the huge pieces of lint on them and wearing the bear claw joints, the boots that look like Chewbacca. And also it's brought to you by grown-ass men wearing oversized blue jeans and wearing the tall tees with the sticker on them like it's 03 with all white low-top Air Force Ones with the strings tied real tight. But it's also brought to you by them. So we're going to get right into it. They're a sponsor, man. They're sponsoring us. Don't turn them down. If they want to support us.
I hope they ain't still dressing like that.
No, believe me. Trust me.
That's terrible.
I've seen it with my own eyes. My own two eyes.
That's bad.
But to put it more on a serious note, we got a Detroit Startup Week coming beginning May 22nd.
Through the 26th.
Yeah, through the 26th. I'm actually, surprisingly, I'm going to be a moderator for the podcast panel that they're having at the Masonic Temple. And it's basically pretty much touching on, like, is it a passing fad? Which it definitely isn't, because there's millions of people that tune into podcasts on a regular each day. I've been trying to get people hip to the podcast culture, but, don't catch on when it's too late. Don't try to ride this wave, you know what I'm saying? But I'm going to be a moderator there. The tickets are free. Go to Detroit. Let me pull this up because I don't want to get incorrect web address. It is detroit.startupweek.co. You can go and it's going to be a link where you can actually order the tickets through Eventbrite. It's a free event, so you ain't got to come up out of pocket for nothing. I'm pretty sure parking, and that's about it. Maybe if you want to get something to eat, pretty sure there's going to be vendors there. But yeah, it's a free event, man. Just show up. Like I said, I'm moderating, so it ain't just about rap with me. You know what I mean?
I just want to show up to troll people.
That's a good idea. You can do that. But just to get into the episode, man, there was a Facebook post because the Q line, they just opened that up downtown for people to ride. How long is it? It's not like it's only going from downtown to like Midtown or something like that.
Yeah, it's not long at all.
Yeah. But there was a Facebook post that was funny as hell. It said the Q line downtown Detroit is the gentrification jitney. That shit was hilarious as hell. D'Angelo's hit me up about it and was telling me, he was like, "Did you see this shit?" I'm like, "Dog, this is funny as hell." Like I hollered not just the fact about it being in gentrification, but jitney, because last time, man, it was in the 90s when we had a jitney coming from the grocery store, and I used to hate that shit because my mom used to always get it. And it's like the grocery store wasn't that far from home, but because we had so many groceries, we would have to get a jitney, and it always seemed like when we would get a jitney, it'd always be like some old dude. He got some rusty ass car, because obviously it was a side hustle for people. Actually, they were like jitneys were like the original Ubers, but for grocery stores.
Right.
So the thing about it is, I don't know if it was just the jitneys we was getting, but every time we would get a damn jitney, it would be some rusted, some old dude, a rusted car or van or whatever with empty pop bottles and beer cans or whatever, and it would stink. It would reek of like old cigarette smoke. Right. I just hated it. I hated that. But the funny thing about it is, we started thinking about this, and he brought it up, and the question came about was, what age or like when did you realize as a kid, and God bless the dead too, my mom, rest in peace, but when did you realize as a kid or maybe as a teenager that you probably weren't, or your household I should say, weren't as financially on point as like other kids you may have went to school with or other kids in the neighborhood? Like I know for me it was early on, like probably like 3rd, 4th grade maybe.
It was probably like 1st grade for me.
And it's crazy because you think it's normal, like growing up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but I remember probably around like 4th grade, I think. I'm just revisioning this, but 4th grade, I believe. I think around this time, Chuck Taylors were like becoming popular again, to the children at least. And I wanted a pair so bad. All the kids in school had them, especially all the cool kids or the perceived cool kids in school had them. And I asked my mom for them. I don't know if my mom was just being cheap or frugal, but I mean, same thing, but she bought me a pair of, they were called East Sides. They were from Payless. Might have been Pickway. Pickway was still a thing at the time.
Right.
But she bought me a pair of East Sides. Looked just like Chuck Taylor's. I wore them to school with pride and got my ass roasted. And I ain't know. I'm like, I ain't get it. Like, they clown me. I'm like, damn, like, we said we was poor. And kids is mean. Like damn, now that you think about it, but
kids are relentless.
Like, man.
It's crazy because I know that we were poor, or I shouldn't even say poor because we were not poor. We just,
right.
Like you said, we didn't handle finances well. But
because you had a roof over your head, you had running, nothing was,
bills were paid, all that stuff. But it's crazy because I don't remember anything that I had, any types of shoes and clothes that I had. I just know that I didn't have what everybody else had. Yeah.
I knew too at the same time, like even during elementary, like probably elementary, middle school, I further started realizing it when, getting hand-me-downs from your cousins and stuff, and you would get it, and they were like, hey, this mine, it wasn't just like, yo, here go a shirt that I had, or it don't fit me no more, or what you want to do with it, or whatever. It was just flat out your auntie telling them, hey, why don't you give him that bag of clothes that you got. And then you thinking in your head like, well, dang, I was just asking my mom for some new gear, like some brand new gear fresh out of, at the time, Hudson's or whatever, and you couldn't get it because they saying it's too expensive. Oh, that's name brand. You got to get it from over here. You can't get this. But then your cousins, they giving you shit that they wore, but it's hand-me-down. But you don't grasp the concept that it's hand-me-down. You think, oh, these are my cousins. Especially, I hung around like a lot of my older cousins for the most part. And when you would get those clothes, you would think it's cool. Like, oh, it's cool. My older cousin gave me a coat. But at the same time, I got older. I'm like, man, damn, that was a lot of hand-me-down shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It was a total, not the total opposite, but totally different for me. My mother didn't mind shopping in the secondhand store, so I was basically raised in the secondhand store.
That's just what you knew.
Yeah, like before I was born, that was the regular shopping place for my mother. So almost everything I had, maybe only new things I probably got were shoes, and those are probably from Payless and Pickway, like you said.
Yeah.
But my clothes and toys and everything else I had around the house was all from secondhand stores.
Yep.
Everything.
Yep. My pops used to and this is the part that used to kill me because my pops, he would be in the rehab center off and on. While he was there, they would have, him and other people that lived there, they had to work. So they wouldn't make nothing, no extreme amount of money or whatever like that, but it was enough, I guess, so they could eat, and cover like room and board for the most part, depending on where they stay. Like if they wanted to have their own place, they would have to pay room and board based off, what they got from their job. Now, the funny thing about it is he would always get gifts from here off of the Salvation Army truck. As a kid, that's exciting. I started getting older, like, this shit is not sweet. Like, I remember he had it was the Deion Sanders Nikes that came out. And he had got me some of those, but they were too tight for my feet. They were like about maybe a half size smaller. But because I knew that they were the Deion Sanders shoes, and mind you, this around the same time, I'm already getting clowned for wearing like Payless shoes, I was going to rock them. I'm like, fuck that, I'm rocking these. And then I started really looking back at it, asking myself, like, damn, was my mom just being, like, cheap? Because it would be shoes, I'd be like, dang, those are sweet, I want those. Not even asking for nothing, too. Of course, I would want Jordans. All the kids had Jordans. I wanted them. But obviously, I said, I'm like, I know I can't afford those. Let me get these. These ain't nothing but like $60. Those cost too much. like, damn, so I would have to settle. And, shit changed around like middle school, of course, but it was like when you start got to explain to him, I'm like, man, you don't understand. Like, you ain't in school. Like, I got to deal with these kids, like, roasting or whatever. Luckily, I wasn't getting beat up or jumped. You know what I'm saying? You got to deal with the people that's throwing these. And it actually sharpens your wit. Like, we're learning how to, what they call it back then, playing the dozens. Or like, at the time, we called it capping on people. But, yeah, that's crazy, though. Like, you think it's the norm until you run across some kids that let you know, like, nigga, that ain't normal. Like, nigga, you broke.
Right.
Like, your mama broke.
Like, I think I always got capped on. I was never, I don't know if I can't say that I didn't care, but I was never one to keep up with the capping and keep up with the, like you said, the quick-wittedness.
Yeah.
Like, I'm one of those people who thought before I did everything, so, I would go deep into my thought before when it came to capping, I wasn't.
You done overthought the joke now by this time.
Right, so I don't even say it. But, yeah, it was,
Like, your pants are so expensive and well-stitched.
Right.
People are like, what? Like, yeah, man. I had some, another thing, I remember I had some, around this time, there was the Scottie Pippen joints. Like, Scottie Pippen had a pair of the Nikes and Reggie Miller. And they were the Nikes with the air. It was a big-ass air on the side for the Nike logo. And all the kids in school had them. It was like the black pair. You had the regular, the Reggie Miller joints, I think, was like white and blue. The Scottie Pippen was all black. And then there was like another like navy blue pair that came out. And I wanted those. Now, the funny thing is, at the same time, I know people around my age is listening remember Hakeem Olajuwon had some shoes that came out and they were their dreams. And they were patent leather. Now, me, at the time, not being aware, I'm thinking like, well, it's Hakeem Olajuwon. He the shit. He balling out here. You know what I'm saying? Like he killing the game.
Right.
Not thinking they Payless shoes.
Right.
I asked for these. I'm like, well, shoot. This kid in elementary. I went to Bellevue Elementary School on I want to say Canton. I think Canton Road, but not too far off Grand Boulevard. But this cat named Dustin had them. Dustin was popular. Dustin was cool. People fucked with Dustin. He had those. He had like I forget what pair he had, but he had the Olajuwons. I wanted them. I'm like, I want the white and black pair. I was hoping for like a black pair or whatever. I was like, fuck it, I settled for the white and black. Me and my mom caught the bus. We was catching the bus every damn where. We caught the bus, got the Olajuwons again. Here I am now. This might have been 5th grade year, could have been 4th grade. I'm not sure. Here I am going to school. My pride is up. I'm like, man, I got these. The dreams. Niggas don't know about these. I'm wearing them because the only other person that had them was Dustin. Now I see why. I wear them, and this at the time we was catching we was getting bused to school, so we was catching the cheese bus. Now, it was this kid named Ezekiel, and I remember he kept like saying like, singing the thing, Payless shoes ain't got no grid, make you saying that type of shit or whatever. Now. You could take that shit like or whatever, like man, whatever, sit down, chill out, man. My mama bought me these, it's nothing. I end up fighting this dude. He was getting annoying with it to the point like where he was like, trying to poke me in the back of the head, like in my ear, like, saying all type of shit or whatever. Now the thing is, he hit me. I end up just fighting him on the back of the bus or whatever, and end up getting suspended and shit. It was crazy, and that's when I really started thinking like, hey man. Like, something ain't right. Like, it's not sweet to wear these. Like, but it's like, at the same time, I'm being myself. I'm in the sports. I know Olajuwon is a dog-ass player. Why can't I wear these shoes? Learn the hard way.
Right. It wasn't up to status.
But it lets you know, it's like, damn, kids ain't able to be themselves in school. That's just what it is. You can be yourself, but you want to wear these or whatever to be accepted damn near. Right. However, at the same time, it started making you think, like, what's wrong with my household to where if I just want a simple-ass pair of Nikes, I can't get them? You're not thinking at the time, like, is my parents not managing their finance correctly? Is it just that my mom is the only one? My mom was working at the time. She ended up stopped working because she had going blind in one eye. I'll speak about that on the Teacher off the For Namesake album. But she was the only one working. Like I say, my dad in and out of rehab or whatever. Even when he was working, you already know where that money was going. It started making me think. And it didn't really register until later in life. Like, damn. Like, we weren't poor. But obviously, she was doing what she was can with her money. And it just make you think, like, now you understand when you're an adult. Like, okay, I get it now.
Right.
It even took me, and I don't want to make this a venting or ranting story about like, yeah, this what happened in school, because it wasn't always like that in school. Obviously, like I say, shit changed in middle school. I had a better sense of awareness, and it was other shit that I liked that just so happened to be name brand. Honestly, it's the better shit. The quality is different. I start understanding that more when I got older, because those Payless shoes were slippery as fuck. we be in the doing relay in the gym, running around and shit. You sliding around, just slipping. You gotta keep trying to, licking the bottom, licking your hand to rub the bottom of your shoe to keep grip, shit like that. But it just started making me think. As I got older, I'm like, you know what? How come in school they don't? And this is the segue into this. In school, they don't really teach you about managing your finances properly.
Right.
You don't learn about it in elementary. You don't learn about it in middle school. And they got econ in high school, but you don't really learn about it then.
Right.
Furthermore, goes to let me know, and they was talking about this. Shout out to Joyce Massey too, and shout out to you, Joyce, for putting I'm gonna say J Mass. She talked about this before, like basically how we're groomed to be consumers. Yes. And I think that's the reason she called it the 14% podcast too, because it's like only 14% or something of Americans are like business owners or some shit something like that. I don't want to fuck it up, but something close to that. I started thinking about that, like damn, and it make you think back in school, like it's like in school they are prepping you to be a consumer in the world.
Yeah.
The basics is and this is what I got from it. The basics is go to school, get good grades, graduate, go to college, get out. What's the standard? Become a doctor, lawyer, whatever, police officer, whatever.
Right.
Build
refrigerators and such.
Yeah. I've never once heard in school. You always hear them say you could be anything you want to be, but then when it comes down to them telling them what you should be, it's the basic. It's the Cosby Show layout. Be a doctor, be a lawyer, you know, that type of shit or whatever. Which ain't nothing wrong with that. That's cool, but that seems like the standard in school. Right. I never once ever recall, and I went to Cass Tech. I never once recall any of the teachers, none of the counselors, or nobody saying, "Hey, you know, you could be an entrepreneur. You know, this is what you can do." None of that. It was just go to school, make sure you go to college, get good grades so you can get a full ride, or get good grades so you can get a scholarship.
I'm not even sure if it was taught in school and if it's taught now.
I don't even think it is now.
Entrepreneurship. It was always something that you went, like, as far as I remember, it was always something you went outside of school to go to some class that you paid for a couple months. And I don't even remember, well, I never went to college, so I don't know, but, you know, I know they teach you business. I don't know, and I'm pretty sure they teach you entrepreneurship, but I'm not sure if there's a specific entrepreneurship class in college.
It needs to be in high school. I think that should need to start early on.
It does need to be in high school.
But here's why I think it's
maybe
not.
Even middle school.
Here's why I think it isn't. Because, like I say, I feel like the goal, I don't want to sound like a woke person, but I think the goal is to basically just continue to groom people, especially as African Americans, groom us to continue to be consumers.
That's exactly what it is, because, you know, even when you do go to, even those who do go to college, still end up paying for that college.
Man, exactly.
And there are not too many countries in the world that make you pay for college.
I remember seeing so many people being excited that they paid Sally Mae off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember, and then it started making me think back, like, man, I remember just having this constant talk with my brother, one of my older brothers, and, oh, you need to go to college. And I'm like, I don't know what I want to go for. That's not what I want to do. I'm not going... You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to take this and pass this test. I'm paying for tests to take going to college. And really, in some cases, for some people, you got the people that join fraternities, you got the people that join sororities. It is good for people from a social experience point of view. But as far as the people that's going that don't know why they're going, you got people that go and they trying to figure it out, and eventually they do. Like, yeah, this is what I'm going for. I'm going to finish this. I got my degree in this, whoop-de-whoop. But then you got people that go and never figure out what it is that they want to do. Some people graduate and still never figure out what it is that they want to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's crazy to me, because it's like, damn, now you paying, they hitting you up. As soon as you graduate, they hitting you up.
Right.
Oh, you just graduated, dope. So this is what you owe. We'll do. How you gonna pay that? You know, that type of shit. So it's like, it started making me think like, it made me think more back to a conversation I had with my counselor. I want to say this was like 12th grade year. Wayne Washington. He's like, Mr. Robertson, he was saying some shit about, like, have I figured out what I want to do when I graduate? And I'm like, honestly, I'm into music. And to be honest with you, you know how they had the college fairs and everything. I'm like, to be honest with you, none of the schools that are coming here for these college fairs that we're having, they have nothing that I'm interested in as far as these courses that they're offering. It's nothing, no degrees, nothing. Now that I'm thinking back on it, okay, maybe I could have won. It could have been something for marketing, something, because I love the shit about marketing, period. The aspect of it as far as like marketing the music.
Right. I'm
into that part. Everybody that knows me knows that. However, back then, I'm just thinking, I like recording music. I like writing songs. You know, I like hitting the stage. What school is there for me to go to help with that? Okay, I thought about Specs Howard. Now, the funny thing about that is, here I am podcasting, and at the time, Specs Howard would be at those college fairs. I'm like, man,
right.
Radio broadcasting, I'm good. I probably should have did that. However, fast forward, did you really have to go to Specs Howard if you're doing? I mean, it's dope to have that, be knowledgeable of that, yeah. But long story short, none of the colleges that were coming had anything that I was interested in.
Right.
He's like, well, you might want to figure it out, man. You know, and it's like, yo, like it's crazy because we teenagers, yo. Nobody got life figured out as a teenager.
Right.
Nobody got life figured out in their 20s like that.
Right. But that's the time that every 20-something-year-old I talk to, I tell them that's the time for them to make as many mistakes
Make
as
as
possible.
many mistakes as possible.
For real.
And then in your 30s, you start kind of like, all right, I think I got it. I know what it is and I'm trying to do, you know, start figuring out. That's what, like, stay healthy. Like, for real, you know, you don't want to die early. Let's stay healthy. Because you just start figuring shit out. You see what I'm saying? Like,
it's funny, my best friend just turned 40 a couple weeks ago. And talking to her, she like, you know, what's next? What's going to happen next? And I was telling her, you know, I'm 42 and I'm understanding that everything that we did in our 20s, we're basically in a point where we understand all of those mistakes that we made, and we understand.
That's right. We outside. This is raw.
Yeah, this is raw. We understand, you know, which path to go in our 40s.
Right.
Or by the time we reach our 40s, we should have a clearer understanding, like a vividly clearer understanding of where we want to go, or you know where we are going, or you know for the rest of our lives. By the time you're 40, so like your 30s, you know, it's, you know, like we said, you make the mistakes in the 20s, in the 30s, that's when you start to straighten up. But in your 40s, that's when you know exactly what, you know,
right,
your path.
That made me kind of look at somebody like Jay-Z, who's in his 40s, right? What if all the shit that he's doing now, all these business ventures that he's doing, what if that's what he's probably wanted to do? I mean, obviously, I'm pretty sure that was in the plan, but of course, he came into the game as an MC. Obviously, we know what he did prior to that. You know, he's so dope, whatever. But him being an MC and then now what he's doing in his 40s, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I think, what if during that period of rapping was figuring it out?
Yeah, it was.
I like something that they said on when AJ and SJ was on From Scratch, and they were basically talking about how they were soaking up game on the business end since they were kids, and then they actually, you know, went on pursuing a rap career. And one thing that they, I'm not sure which one it was between SJ or AJ, but they said they realized that, okay, my whole time being in the industry as an artist and understanding the business was for me to take that and provide that game to other up and coming, you know, people in the industry, basically. That's deep. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's one thing, just a sidebar, that I like about the app, because it doesn't just show you, hey, this is what you need to know to learn how to be a music artist or whatever, R&B singer, or whatever, but it show you all the stuff that you could do behind the scenes and also generate income in the business or of entertainment, period.
That's what's up.
And just, I may save this for another podcast, but that's what I feel like, man, just know what you want to do. Like, stop. I'm not telling kids, trust me, this is not to tell kids, because I got nieces and nephews. I got a niece in high school right now. This is not to tell people like that, hey, fuck college. You know what I'm saying? But if you're going to go, think about this for a second and know why you're going. Or at least that first year, explore. Like, no, like, okay, don't feel like you're going just because someone's forcing you to.
Right.
Because now your ass in debt when you graduate in college.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew a lot of people that I went to school with that went to college and not pursuing what they went to college for. Some are, a great percentage are. But what about the ones that went that didn't know? Like, they just there and here they are. They, oh, when I switched up, you know, this major, this whatever, about 3 or 4 times, now they graduate, they still, now they got to work a regular ass job, and they hate it because they're like, damn, that's not what I went to school for. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That shit trips me out. What else am I missing here? basically just go, like, know what you want to go for. Like, that was my whole thing. Like, I remember, like, being 17 years, because I graduated at 18. I was born in January. I didn't fail. But just being there, like, man, I see everybody. You feel like you need to be doing this because obviously you're at that impressionable age because you're a teenager.
Right.
So you see all your homeboys and everybody else, and that pressure start weighing in. Like, shit, senior year about to be over with. Everybody about to be going away. I can't hang with the homies. You know, like,
yep.
Dang, girls I wanted to fuck with, they about to be gone too. Only time I get to probably see them is if we link up on a break or something.
Right.
Dang, what the fuck I'm gonna do? Just get a job. So now the pressure locking in, like, man, let me try something. And I tried Oakland Community College for like, I think I went like half a semester. And just was like, fuck it. Like, I went for something in business, but it just didn't capture my interest. I'm like, I don't feel creative. I like doing what helps me feel creative. And I talked about this with my brother, my older brother, for y'all that don't know, is Black Beethoven. And we talked about this. My other brother, Zoe, when they both were attending Denby High School, I remember being a kid all the time. I guess, you know, of course, my brother Zoe, he was real smart in school, real smart. You know, I was like, oh, Lonzo, he getting good grades, whoop, whoop, whoop. And when it came to my oldest brother, it was always, we talked about this, and they were basically, he's not focused in class. He's not, his attention span is like he doesn't care. But and he was in the band. In order for him to stay in the band, the thing was, he was creative. He already, and he said, you know what, I had it figured out what I wanted to do in middle school. Honestly, and it was music. So once somebody already got it figured out, you can't, no teacher, when that's your passion, no teacher, no parent, nobody can shift that.
Yeah, I think it was the same for me.
I know it was for me.
I think I knew that I wanted to be a DJ before I got out of elementary school.
I knew late 10th grade.
I was probably 8 when I knew what I wanted to do, and I was 9 when I learned how to DJ.
I knew around like 10th grade, late 10th grade, you know they always say that's the sophomore year for a lot of people when it's kind of like, oh, you ain't really focused or whatever.
Right.
Because freshman year, I was at it. I was at it. That's all it was. And then the funny thing is, freshman year, we were living with my cousins, Eric and Sherry. Shout out to them. But me and my cousin, Eric Jr. or whatever, we were in the same grade. He went to I want to say Commerce. I went to Cass. So 9th grade year, we hitting the books. And he was an influence because I couldn't slack up and not focus because it's like, damn, it wasn't a competition, but it's like, I can't be getting no fucked up grades if he the smart one, you know what I'm saying? Right. I gotta match this. You know what I'm saying? I gotta keep mine together.
So you had in-house competition?
Yeah, in a sense, but it was like, man, 10th grade came, it was like, man, fuck this. I'm starting to get more. Now we living on our own, it's me and my mom's or whatever, we in our own place or whatever. I think we was in like a 4-family flat. We over there in the northwestern area. And it's me now. So I'm figuring this shit out. I'm recording mixtapes and shit and everything. I'm interested. I'm heavy off into it. Music has always been in the bloodline, but just figuring this shit. And the crazy thing is, like, other family members was tapping further into it. At this time, I'm kind of frequently recording with 10 Speed and Brown Shoe. I just landed my placement on a Dirty District project. Man, I got this figured out. I'm a huge fan of Slum Village. Man, I know what I want to do. So come 11th grade year, oh man, me and my crew, we crewed up. We a group, man, fuck what y'all talking about. I ain't trying to do nothing else but music. So my point is, just using music as an example, I feel like people really need to, like, with teenagers and just kids in general, like, understand, folks, see what they passionate about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like, and take that and like mold it. Like, pay attention to that shit, like, for real, because otherwise they growing up, they going to college, they finishing, and if, you know, if they don't finish, like, they still out here in the world trying to figure it out, pull it together. And if they do finish, now they own all this debt. You know what I'm saying? Like, Who want to keep going through that? That's my whole thing.
For sure.
We groom, it goes back to just saying we groom to be consumers, and I think it's a way to fix that.
It's a way to fix it, break it.
Yeah.
And like we said earlier, they didn't. That's not something that they taught in school, and I think it's something that we need to figure out a way to get that to be something that they teach in school.
It had me thinking, man, because I'm like, I went to Cass Tech, like, that was one of the school of choices. And I'm like, okay, what was different with that school compared to other schools that I probably would have, like, we bounced around often. It wasn't going to be a set neighborhood school that I could have went to. It would have either been where we were staying, it would have either been Northwestern. It may have been, like, at one point we was near Persian. It would have been there or Osborne. At one point we were closer to Murray Wright, so it could have been that, or it could have been Mumford. You know what I'm saying? So we moved around frequently within like a 4 years, within a 4 to 5 year span. So my whole thing is, during that time period, like in school, I'm like, okay, I could have either went to one of these neighborhood schools, right?
Right.
But here I am. I took this test in middle school to go to a school of choice. Did it impact me in a way? Yeah, it did. It impacted a lot of kids that went to Cass Tech. I think probably for the better. But I started asking myself, I'm like, okay, this is a school of choice. It's supposed to be so different. All that I really walk away when I really sit down and think about this, I'm like, yeah, they had programs that were good. They had the art, especially for like they had like the PA Guild, like the arts for the kids that was in theater and the music, the band and everything. However, that set aside, I'm like, what else was different though? I mean, a lot of schools had that.
Right.
Okay, we had more homework every day, just about than other kids, or if you fight, you get kicked out, so you can't fight. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of shit. If niggas fought, they got kicked out. That was what it was. Your GPA got to be this in order to stay in.
It sounds like they didn't utilize the school what it was made for.
So my thing, and that's what I'm saying. Like, and it's not, trust me, I'm not dissing no school of choice whatsoever. But looking back at it, I'm saying that because I went there and I met great people there. I still communicate with a lot of great people. But I'm pretty sure they thought about this. What was so different? Because they weren't teaching us nothing to really prepare us for the world like that.
Right.
They was just preparing your brain to be able to multitask. And that was it.
Right.
And it was like, I'm like, maybe that would set a lot of schools of choices aside differently if they were able to do that, like teach you about being an entrepreneur. Have an entrepreneur teach the class.
Right.
Something along those lines. I don't know. I don't have a set answer. But I think there's a way to break that. I mean, it's people that's going to be groomed to be consumers and be okay with that. But I'm sure there's a lot of kids who someday want to own something. You know, they want to be like, they want to own their own business.
Right.
But you're not learning how to do that in school. No. You might not be learning how to do that in college. You getting groomed in a sense. In college, it's a little different, I believe, because like I say, it's a lot of freedom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's more freedom in college. I give it that. But who's really teaching this? Like, yo, I mean, now it's more access than ever to really learn a lot of shit, but shit, YouTube University,
right?
Google Community College. but yeah.
It's crazy because I still think about a lot of things that Obama said when he was in office, and one of the main things that I always remember him saying was how everybody wanted the same, top tier jobs or same top tier careers or top tier businesses, when there was a very huge need for people in like the construction industry, or there were a lot of different industries that needed people. And I think if people had started there or went there to get those jobs, they could have found a way to start their own business in those fields. Yeah. Especially if it's something that they like, instead of just doing something that they think everybody else would like to see them doing.
Right.
Really, because there's a lot of people who love to use their hands who are not using their hands. A lot of people who like, to build things and, do construction, who are not doing construction, or just different type of industry fields. And if they'd have got in it, they'd have got to the point where they could have started businesses in it and been doing something that they love instead of what they think is cool.
Exactly. The funny thing is, the people I do know that conquered and took on their you know, they conquered their goals that they said they had, this passion that I did go to school with, they doing that shit now. One cat that I went to school, we was tight. Me and my dude Josh Reed, like that's what he dope ass artist, especially with the freehand, all that shit, graphic artist, dope as fuck. That's what he do. Get paid a grip for that shit too. My man's Joe McTeer, whatever, he nice with it too with the art. He's doing that. Who else? My guy Tone. Like a lot of people that I know that were passionate about shit as far as the arts, they're tackling that now. That's what they're doing to this day. And I feel like they cracked the code. They knew it then. Of course, we all had to go through our 20s and, you know, have some you know, be in our 20s.
Right.
But it's like we never lost that. And it's funny that a lot of us was in the same like class together, of course, and then graduating class, of course. But it's like some people just got it. They know, like, this is what I want to do. You ain't telling me shit else. You know what I'm saying? But then it's some people, the youth, that don't know. They like, I know I like doing this, but damn, like, school telling me different. Yeah, graduate, get your education. I ain't knocking that at all. Do that. That's necessary.
Right.
Do that shit.
Right.
Even college, do it. I'm not knocking that. Know what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? And let your parents know. If it's people that's obviously not graduated yet, you know, and you're in high school or whatever, if y'all listen to this podcast, let your parents know what you're passionate about and what you're really trying to do. If you're an adult, you're a college student or whatever, just know what you're passionate about and take on that shit. Don't necessarily just accept being groomed to be a consumer.
Right.
That's basically the point that I'm trying to make. That's what this whole episode was pretty much about. I had these talk points written down, which is why I segued from one thing to another.
Dope.
We still sponsored though by ladies who wear leggings with big balls of lint on them, that wear bear claws, and niggas that wear baggy jeans.
And rappers in sundresses.
No. Definitely not. It's not sundress season for rappers.
Yes, it is.
Unless they're a woman rapper.
Shit, they didn't took that one.
Damn, man. They ain't letting the ladies have nothing, man. That's selfish. That's selfish.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I say, anyway, what is that? May 22nd. That's a Monday? Is that Monday? May 22nd?
I think so.
Let me look at my calendar. I don't want to give incorrect dates. May 22nd, the podcast panel at Detroit Startup Week. I'm in there moderating.
Word.
I'm a moderator now. I ain't just an MC. Put that on my resume. I'm a moderator.
Good. I'm gonna get my troll game on.
I gotta get our tickets. It's cause we gotta roll down and get started at 1. It's from 1 to 2. I gotta print our tickets out, so we won't be down there looking stupid.
Right.
They said I was a part of the shit. Hey, we out. Label Podcast. Leadingbelegendary.net.